What's going on, Everly Sports? Back with another video, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about Jorge Soler and the possibility of the Toronto Blue Jays signing Jorge Soler. He's, of course, 31 years of age. He's set to be 32 in about a month. But Jorge Soler has had a lot of traction and a lot of rumors with him and the Toronto Blue Jays. Jorge Soler, he's been in the MLB for a while, and he's bounced around with a couple of teams. He's played for the Cubs, the Royals, the Braves, and, of course, most recently with the Miami Marlins, where he's been very good. He is a very good player. I really, really like Jorge Soler, and I've actually been a fan of him since his days with the Cubs. I knew he'd be a good player. I didn't think he'd be a 40 home run hitter, but I did see potential in his bat. Of course, he's got a ton of power. And, he's the type of guy that the Blue Jays could really use in their lineup. He could play as a DH, but he could also play as a right fielder. Now, we don't know if we'll really use him as a right fielder. Our outfield as it currently stands is Varsho with, of course, Kevin Kiermaier and George Springer. So we're not sure where he would really fit into the defensive lineup, but he could entirely just come over here to be a DH, which is, it's very good. You take a look at his numbers in his career. He's a 10-year player, and he's got a career average of 245 in 870 games played. He has an average in his career of 32 home runs per season, and he had a year with Kansas City a couple of years ago where he hit 48 home runs. He's been absolutely terrific. He, of course, he was an all-star last year with the Miami Marlins where he hit for 250. He hit 36 home runs with 75 RBIs in 137 games played. He also won a World Series, of course, with the Braves as well as the Royals. And when he won with the Braves, he was the World Series MVP. So he's got some experience. He's a big bat. He's 6'4", 240, ton of power. Of course, like I said, a lot of rumors between him and the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays could use him. Another guy with experience, a little bit of veteran leadership, of course, from the Cuban, but his bat is something the Jays could really use. A power bat, another power bat to throw right in top to middle of that lineup, which would be really good. Now, of course, there have been rumors with Jorge Soler to the Jays since the beginning of the offseason, but it's starting to slowly heat up now. And, the three teams that are potential, apparently finalists, are the New York Mets, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Boston Red Sox. And, of course, the Boston Red Sox, there's rumors that they have backed out of contract talks with Jorge Soler. Many deem to have the Toronto Blue Jays as favorites at this point to sign Jorge Soler. And John Heyman said the Jays are finalists for Soler with the Mets and potentially still the Boston Red Sox. But they're not a team, that really concerns me for him. Of course, as there are reports that they're backing out potentially. So it seems like it's the Jays and it seems like it's the Mets. Now, what will a Jorge Soler contract look like? That remains to be seen. I think it'll be a multi-year deal, and it'll be probably 3 to 4 years, if I had to guess, at about $15 to $18 million per year. So you could look at something like 3 years, $45 million, or 3 years, $50 million. You potentially even add another year, and so you could get him at 4 years, 65 million. That seems like a pretty reasonable deal for Jorge Soler, which, in my opinion, is a great, it's a great price for him. A guy who hit 36 home runs a year ago, who 2 years ago won the World Series MVP. He could be a really, really big piece to this Jays team. And, of course, it's very, very intriguing that a lot of people have him linked to the Blue Jays. And, I think it's a real possibility. I think the Jays have been in the market for almost every big-name player to pop up. And, we'll see what ultimately ends up happening. But I think the Jays are, at this point, finalists, possibly front-runners. So we'll see what ultimately happens with Soler. I hope the Jays get him done. Like I said, hopefully it's a 3 or 4 year deal, and hopefully we could sign the free agent slugger to a deal, and hopefully we'll get news on that soon, and news really in the next month or so. It has to be in the month or so where all these remaining names end up, like Cody Bellinger, like JD Martinez. Will Luis Arias get traded? Blake Snell, of course, here, Jorge Soler. So there's still a lot of names to go. Matt Chapman, of course, another big one, the former Blue Jay. Doesn't seem like the Jays will retain him, but it's really interesting to see. I would think in the next 2 to 3 weeks we'll really get a good grip, and we'll start to see these names come off the board. But I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully the Jays get Soler done. But you guys let me know down in the comments section your thoughts on the possibility of the Toronto Blue Jays signing Jorge Soler. Like I said, I hope it gets done. Hope it's a 3 or 4 year deal at about $15 or so million per season. But let me know all that good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see you guys all in the next video, and as always, let's go Blue Jays.